Is a spiritual slave. And that's what I remain. I believe that he was an intellectual giant. If the whole of the country and the rest of the world is not exposed to the great intellectual output of this one of the greatest men that this country has produced. He was 8 years younger than me, but I think his knowledge and his intellect were 80 times bigger and sharper than mine. It's a pity that he did not live even to the biblical age of 70. He left us nearly a decade ago. But while it is no longer possible to touch him in flesh and blood, it is certainly possible to do the next best thing, to get exposed to that which he has left behind. And that which he has left behind, I think, is good enough for ordinary mortals like us. I don't know what induced him to enter this life, but perhaps this was predetermined. I have a feeling when I read his writings that he was first attracted to the problems of existence because of the tensions and anxieties of modern age, and the mentally sick, the mentally unbalanced, the hypochondriacs that society was beginning to produce. I think his mission and his great mission, which he himself has described as neither a religion nor a dogma, but what he called an alchemy. And alchemy and expertise, a technique of transformation. It is a technique of catalysis. He never tried to participate in the chemical reaction of human beings, but by his sheer presence and by his sheer astral influence, he worked as an invisible catalyst and brought about invisible changes in the human psyche, which we hear from the ancient rishis in the Upanishads. The Upanishads teach only one thing, that you don't become great by imbibing knowledge from outside. Ultimately, you rise and attain to higher levels by transforming your inner consciousness and rising from one layer to a superior layer and a higher layer of consciousness. He taught us the playfulness of life. He taught us the fun of life. I think he debunked pessimism and he debunked unnecessary austerity and the kind of self-suffering which people inflict upon us in the misguided search for the infinite. I don't believe that he ultimately decided that human beings are capable of achieving salvation. He was such a great student of Buddha, and throughout his writings, and even the final name that he adopted, shows how much he accepted the teachings of Buddha. And if he did accept those teachings, I suspect that while he told people to strive to get freedom and achieve peace, he finally believed that it was not possible. No wonder it is Buddha who has said that we are the voices of the wandering vine, that mourn for rest, but rest can never find. Low as mortal life is, low as the sigh is, so is mortal life, a sigh, a sob, storm, strife. I believe that Osho taught the way of how to make the strife of life tolerable. Beyond that, he didn't promise much, and I believe that he did not believe that anything more was possible for human beings. I must say that I am greatly flattered by being here this morning and being associated with this auspicious occasion. I think the great man, he himself sometimes did believe in the renewal of life after life, But some of his teachings also show that he very seriously doubted the theory of reincarnation. But I suppose that truth is not attainable anyhow. And giving him the benefit of doubt that he exists somewhere and is able to see what we are doing this morning, I think we must have brought great happiness to his spirit and his soul. Let me say this, that I am honored and I am grateful and I am always at your service. Thank you.